Hello everyone, welcome to Brain Blitz Audios. Today in this episode of BITSAT Practice, we're going to be looking at some questions of logical reasoning asked in BITSAT 2019. So we are going to look at previous year questions of BITSAT that relate to logical reasoning, and we will find out how we can solve them effectively. So let's begin with a question on incomplete figures. In the following question, which answer figure will complete the question figure? The question figures are blank on the top left corner, and the other corners contain a square. Contain this particular figure along with a black diamond. Now we need to find out which of these answer figures will correctly be placed at the top left corner. Now let's look at each square here. So in each corner, so in each tile, we have two squares which are connected by straight lines at their vertices. We also have a dark circle in the middle of the inner square, and depending on the location of the tile, we have a black diamond present towards the exterior corner. So if the tile is on the top right, then the black diamond is on the top right corner of that tile. For the bottom right tile, the black diamond is on the bottom right corner, and so on. So in order to solve this question, we need to understand that all figures here are symmetrical. So that means we need to put in a figure that will complete the symmetry of all these figures. Now remember that the black diamond is placed according to the position of the tile itself. So the top right tile has a black diamond at the top right corner. Similarly, the bottom left tile has a black diamond in the bottom left corner. So that means in order to get the correct answer for the top left corner, the particular piece has to have a black diamond in the top left corner. So that means we can eliminate option A, because option A does not have a black diamond. Now we have options B, C, and D. All of these have a black dot as well. But notice the two squares. In option C, we can find that both of these squares are not connected at the vertices. So therefore, option C is incorrect. And in option D, you can see that the pattern of lines which connect the inner square to the outer square are different from the other figures in the question. So basically it's an extension of the sides of the inner square towards the outer square. So that means option D is incorrect. The correct answer is option B. So in option B, you can see that the black diamond is in the top left corner, as with all the other figures where the black diamond is positioned in its place. Moreover, we can see that both the squares are connected at the vertices by straight lines, and it has a black dot in the center. So that means option B is the answer figure that will complete the question figure here. Let's now look at another question on incomplete figures. So we have a question figure here, and we need to find out the correct answer figure. So in the question figure, you can find out that in all of the squares, the three given squares, we can find a huge semicircle with its diameter equal to the side of the square. So basically, this indicates that the square that should be filled in the top right corner must have a semicircle with its diameter equal to the side of the square. And and the diameter should also be present on the outer edge, because as you can see over here on the top left tile, we can see that the semicircle is on the outer edge. And also similarly in the bottom tiles, we can see that the semicircle, the large semicircle, is having its diameter on the outer edge. So therefore, we can safely conclude that options A and B are incorrect, because in option A, the semicircle is not large enough, and in option B, the semicircle is oriented towards the inner edge, which is incorrect. In options C and D, we have the large semicircle facing outwards. Now, notice that between the top left and the bottom left tiles, you find that there are two semicircles which are adjacent to each other. So there is a circle here which is bisected by the line between the top left and the bottom left tiles. So similarly, you can see a semicircle on the bottom right tile. So that means we must have a semicircle over here on the top right tile as well. You can see that option C has that semicircle, and also it completes the quadrant which is present on the top right corner of the bottom right tile, and it completes that quadrant to form a semicircle like this. So option C must be the correct tile. Also, you can see that the rectangle is bisected in the bottom tile, so therefore such a bisection of the rectangle must be present in the top tiles. So therefore that is only possible when C is the correct answer figure. In D, you can't find that circle being completed. You can't also find the rectangle being bisected because the rectangle here is in the middle. So that means option D is incorrect. The correct answer is option C. The answer figure option C will complete the question figures given. Now, we have a question from paper folding and cutting. A piece of paper is folded and cut or punched as shown in the question figure. So this hexagon is folded along this edge, along the middle, and then the trapezium that is formed is again folded along the middle, vertically, along the vertical middle line, the crease. And once we have reached this shape, we have punched in two holes in this fashion, one hole facing inwards and the other hole facing outwards. So they are in a diagonal orientation. Now, from the given answer figures, we need to find out how will this hexagon look when it is opened. So, in this particular question, we need to understand that when you fold paper and then you insert a cut or a punch or a hole inside, then that hole will be present throughout all the four folds of paper. So if you have this as the starting point, and if you want to find out how the question figure will appear, then what you need to do is to first find the mirror image of the particular section in the last figure. So the mirror image will be something like this. And once you found the mirror image, you can join them together, and that's how it will look like once you have opened one of the folds. And from here, we can find out the water image, and the water image will look something like this. And when you open the last fold, the previous fold, in order to reveal the complete hexagon, then the hexagon will look similar to option D. So option D is the correct option, because if you were to fold C, then the cuts would be in the opposite diagonal orientation, so that's incorrect. In option B, the cuts would have to be horizontally aligned, that's incorrect. And in option A, there had to be 3 cuts, whereas in the question figure, we only have 2 holes punched in. So option A is incorrect. The correct answer figure is D, because first of all, it shows the correct diagonal orientation, because you can see that this particular quadrant with the holes is represented in D, and when you open it by imagining its mirror and water images, then you will get the actual hexagon's appearance after the holes have been punched. So therefore option D is the correct option. Let's look at a question on relations. So here we're asked to find the related word from the given alternatives. Now, medicine is related to patient in a similar way as education is related to. The 4 options are teacher, school, student, and tuition. Now, what is the relation between medicine and patient? Now, when a patient visits the doctor prescribes for him the medicine. So medicine is received by the patient in order to alleviate his symptoms. Now, that means we need to find out the recipient of education. So, who receives education? So, who is the recipient of education? Who is being educated in an educational establishment? It will be the student, that is option C, who will be educated. So, education is received by the students. So therefore option C is the correct alternative, the correct word that is related to education. The relation here is received by. The teacher imparts the education. He gives the education to the students. A school is the place for education, so that's incorrect. And tuition is the process of educating someone. So option D is also incorrect. The correct answer is C, student. Education is received by students as medicine is received by patients. So medicine is related to patient as education is related to student. So option C is the correct option. Next question. We have a question on alphanumeric series. Choose the correct alternative from the given ones that will complete the series. We have A3E, F5J, K7O, and the fourth place is a blank, and we need to fill it. So, how do we solve this question? Well, first let's look at the relation between the given places. So we have A3E, and then F5J, and K7O. Now, when you look at A and F comes 5 places after A. So after A, the 5th letter after A will be F. B, C, D, E, and F. So F is the 5th letter from A. Similarly, the letter K, let's count its position from F. G is the 1st, H is the 2nd, I is the 3rd, J is the 4th, and K is the 5th. So again, a +5 relation. So the first letters in each of the elements in the series are 5 places from the previous one. And if you look at the last letters, E, J, and O, let's count the position of J from E. F, G, H, I, J. So we can find out that J is the 5th letter from E. Similarly, if you were to check out O, it'll be K, L, M, N, and O. So O is the 5th letter from J. So we can see that there is a relation between the first letter as well as the last letter of each of the elements. The first letter between any 2 elements is separated by +5, and the last letter is also separated by +5. Now to the numbers 3, 5, and 7. At first glance, you can see that they are odd numbers. But on second glance, you can see that they are also consecutive prime numbers. So consecutive prime numbers is the correct relation between 3, 5, and 7. So we need to find out the next element. So to find the next element, the first place will be occupied by a letter. So let's take the fifth letter from K. L is the first, M is the second, N is the third, O is the fourth, and P is the fifth letter. So P comes first. The next consecutive prime number after 7 is 11. So P11. And finally, we have O. We need to find out the fifth letter from O. It's P, Q, R, S, and then T. So T will complete the fourth element. So the fourth element that will complete the series is option D, P11T. Q11T is incorrect because Q will be the sixth. Similarly, Q9V is also incorrect because both the letters are incorrect. And option C is incorrect because the number here is 9 and which is not a prime number. Let's look at this question. Which one of the following numbers lacks the common property in the series? We have 81, 36, 25, 9, 5, and 16. This question is quite simple because you can see that most of the numbers in here are perfect squares. So 9 squared gives you 81, 6 squared gives you 36. Sorry about that. Then you have 5 squared, that gives you 25, 3 squared gives you 9, 4 squared gives you 16. So almost all of the numbers here have the common property in that they are perfect squares. But the number 5 is not a perfect square. The square root of 5 is actually under root of 5, which is a decimal. So it's not a perfect square. So therefore, option A, 5, is the correct answer. It lacks the common property. 36 is a perfect square, 9 is a perfect square, 25 is a perfect square. So options B, C, and D are incorrect. Let's look at this question. This is from coding and decoding. In a certain code language, tired is written as 56 and brain is written as 44. How is lazy written in that code language? Now, in most codes, there will be a code for each letter. But for this particular code language, tired is written as a 2-digit number, 56, and brain is written as a 2-digit number, 44. So therefore, there is some, summation that takes place here. And to find that out, let's take the position of each of the 26 alphabets. So A is 1, P is 16, and so on and so forth. Let's take tired. So T is the 20th letter. I is the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I is the 9th letter. Then you have R as the 18th letter. And E as the 5th letter. And D as the 4th letter. So 5 plus 4 gives you 9. 9 plus 9 gives you 18. 18 plus 18 gives you 36. 36 plus 20 gives you 56. So as you can see, we have found out that the code is the sum the code language for each word is the summation of the positions of each letter of that word. Let's look at brain. The word brain has B, which is the second letter, R is the 18th letter, A is the first letter, I is the 9th letter, and N is the 14th letter. 18 plus 2 gives you 20, 9 plus 1 gives you 10, 20 plus 10 is 30, 30 plus 14 is 44, which again is given in the question. So as you can see, the correct relation between the code and the word that is to be coded is the fact that the code is the sum of the positions of each of the letters in the alphabetical series. So in the alphabetical series, we have 1 to 26, and each letter has a particular position. And when we add out the positions of the letters in that word, in a particular word, we can find out its code. So now that we have established the relation, let's find the code for lazy. So first letter is L, that's 12. Second letter is A, that's 1. Third letter is Z, that's 26. And the fourth letter is Y, that's 25. 25 plus 1 is 26. 26 plus 26 is 52. 52 plus 12 gives you 64. So therefore, the option that gives us the correct code for lazy is option A. Option A, 64, is the correct answer. B, C, and D are incorrect because they are the incorrect sums of the positions of the letters. So option A, 64, is the correct answer. Let's look at this question. Select the missing number from the given response. So in this table, we have 8, 8, 88, 5, 6, 3, 2 in the first column, 7, 7, 77, and 3, 7, 7, 3 in the second column, 6, 6, blank, and 3, 1, 3, 2 in the third column. Now, let's look at relations across this table. So let's look at horizontal relations and vertical relations. Now, there is no operation between 8 and 7 that gives us the number 6. So that means there is no horizontal relation. Let's try out vertical relations. So it's 8, 8, 88, and 5, 6, 3, 2. So let's first try addition. 8 plus 8 plus 88 gives you 88 plus 16, that is 104, which is not equal to 5, 6, 3, 2. So it's not addition. The operation of addition is not the correct operation. Let's try multiplication. 8 into 8 into 88. 8 times 8 is 64, and then times 88. So let's compute that here. 8 4s are 32, 8 4s are 32, 32 plus 3 is 35, 8 6 are 48, 8 6 are 48, plus 4 is 52. 2, 3, 5, wait a minute. Let's calculate it again. So we have 35 in here. So 3 2 1s are 6. And then you have 5. So 5 6 3 2 is the product of 8, 8, and 88. So the last number in that column is the product of the previous elements in the same column. Let's prove that by finding out the product of 7 times 7 times 77. 7 times 7 is 49, so we have 77 and then 4 multiplied with 49. 7 9s are 63, 7 9s are 63, plus 6 gives you 69, so 693. 7 4s are 28, 7 4s are 28, plus 2 is 30. You have 3, and plus 8 is 17, and then 6 plus 1 is 7, and then 3. So as you can see, the relation that we found out is being satisfied. So now we need to find out the missing element in the third column. So in the third column, it will be 6 times 6 times blank. That gives us 3132. 6 times 6 is 36. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the blank. Blank is equal to 3132 divided by 36. Let's start dividing 3132 by 36. So 31 is not divisible by 36, so we'll take 313. So 36 times 10 is 360, 36 times 9 is 324, so we'll take 36 times 8, which is 288. 13 minus 8 gives you 5. 10 minus 8 gives you 2. 2 minus 2 gives you 0. So we'll take this 2 down. So we have 252, which is equal to 36 times 7. So we put 7 in the quotient, 252, and we'll get a remainder of 0. So therefore, the correct value of blank is option B, that is 87. Let's look at the penultimate question for this video. This question is based on Venn diagrams. Which one of the following diagrams best depicts the relationship among human society? Youth club, political party, and youth. So we know that all of these parts of the society that are youth clubs, political parties, and youths are different, and they are not included in each other. So we know that some youth join youth clubs, other youth join political parties, but we cannot say that youth entirely belongs to a youth club or youth clubs entirely belong to political parties. So that means we can eliminate options A, C, and D. The reason being that these options have at least one group enveloping the other two groups. So for example, you can see that option A is containing concentric circles. So that means the other two groups are under one group, so that is incorrect. Option C and D are also incorrect because of the same reason. The correct option will be option B, where the three circles are linked together. So we do have some amount of youth joining youth clubs, some amount of youth join political parties, and youth club and political parties are separated. They do not have anything in common other than the fact that some members of youth join them. So therefore, option B is the correct option. Let's look at the final question of this series, this video, and this is a question on blood relations. Among her children, Ganga's favorites are Ram and Rekha. Rekha is the mother of Sharat, who is loved most by his uncle Mithun. The head of the family is Ramlal, who is succeeded by his sons Gopal and Mohan. Gopal and Ganga have been married for 35 years and have 3 children. What is the relation between Mithun and Mohan? So, how do we solve this question? The best way to solve this question is to use the information in the question to draw a family tree. So, with what information should we start this family tree? The second sentence says that the head of the family is Ramlal and his sons are Gopal and Mohan. So, at the top of the chart we have Ramlal, and Mohan is his son, and Gopal is Mohan's brother. We also know that Gopal and Ganga have been married for, say, X years. So Gopal has been union with Ganga, and they have 3 children. And we also know that 2 of the children are named Ram and Rekha. We also know that Rekha is a mother, so that means she must have a husband. The husband's name is not given. And we also know that they have a son whose name is Sharat. Now, Sharat has an uncle whose name is Mithun. Now, the catch is that Mithun is not given to be Rekha's brother. Rekha's brother is known as Ram. There is a third sibling, but we do not know the name of that particular sibling. So we cannot associate Mithun as Rekha's brother. But if that union is not possible and still Mithun is Sharat's uncle, then we can say that the husband of Rekha has a brother whose name is Mithun. So this is our family tree. We need to find the relation between Mithun and Mohan. Now, we know that Ram and Rekha are the children of Gopal. So therefore, Gopal's brother Mohan will be the uncle for Ram and Rekha. But we also know that Mithun is not part of this family. So that means option A, uncle, is incorrect. What about son? Now, we do not have information regarding Mohan's son, so therefore we cannot assume Mithun to be Mohan's son. So, even if we do assume that Mithun was Mohan's son, then that would mean that Sharat would be Mithun's first cousin once removed, which again is not equal, which again is incorrect because we know that Mithun is Sharat's uncle. So therefore option B is incorrect. What about option C, brother? That is also incorrect because it's clearly given that Ramlal, the head of the family, has two sons, Mohan and Gopal. So therefore option C is incorrect. The correct answer will be option D, that is no relation. Now note that Mohan's niece is married to Mithun's brother, but that does not make them blood relatives. They are relatives by a marriage. So therefore option D, no relation, is the most appropriate option for this question. And that concludes this video on BITSAT practice. We hope you found this video interesting and informative about the types of questions on logical reasoning. For more of our videos, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, that is Brain Blitz Audios. If you want to gain access to BITSAT content, don't forget to hit the link for the playlist that's present in the description box below. If you want to get our latest updates regarding what we upload, then don't forget to hit the bell icon, which is the notifications button that's present below the video. So until the next webisode, take care, stay safe, bye-bye for now.